Hello everyone, I am here today with a new process video, and this one is for Canada. I've been working on my 6x12 album. It's a mix of page sizes. This one is actually 6x12, but I only have 3 photos and they're all 3x4. So this one up top just shows inside of our hotel here, and that's a 4x6 pocket, so it's going to have a background. I've got my two 3x4s here, and then I've got an empty pocket down here as well. I do know that down here I want to do some journaling to talk about how we found the hotel and all that, because this trip was not planned super duper far ahead. It was a much shorter time to plan than what I normally do, but I found such a good deal. I was like, okay, I have to do it. I also didn't realize there were several other things going on in Toronto during the couple of days that we were there, so hotels were a little bit hard to come by, and we really didn't do a lot of research. We were just like, okay, this one's relatively close to the train station, the few amenities we can see, sure, sounds fine. Like, we really just wanted something that was convenient to the train station, because we knew we were coming in by train from the airport and then leaving by train to go on to Ottawa. So that worked. And then we were like, yep, looks decent from the pictures. That was about as much thought as we put into it. And this was the one, King West. It turned out to be kind of swanky. I'm actually surprised we got it for what we did. I would expect it would be more, given what was there and how it looks. It's an older hotel, but it has that refined, stately feel. We loved it. And then the kicker is they had purple lights going in the evening. You can't beat that. So I definitely wanted to do this one as a process video, because I want to work in some purple, because I don't get to do it all that often. Everybody knows, I think by now, purple's my favorite color. So if I can work that in, I will. I will say this, I have a set of digital files that are all travel related, and purple is one of the main colors. If I'm honest, that's why I bought it. I mean, it's cute anyway, but come on, look at those colors. So you can see, like, I printed these and sort of cut them out, but not really. So I have these, plus there are a few more. I want to work in some of those if I can. I'm just not exactly sure how to do it yet. The first thing I was thinking about is, what am I going to do for a background for this, since that has to sit in a 4x6 pocket, but it's on a 4x6 photo. So I went into just my generic, like, background cards that I have and pieces of 4x6 paper I've had left over. And I found this card. This is what's on the back. Definitely not what I want to use. I know where this came from because it was so unusual. I remember it. It was from A Beautiful Mess. Anybody remember them? They used to do a monthly scrapbook kit that you could get, and I subscribed for quite a while because what they included was so unusual. It was different from any other kit set or club that I had seen. And this is one of the few pieces that I have left. The whole kit was kind of like this. And I think it's going to look great with this purple here, with this background. So I think I want to put it on kind of like that maybe. And then I'll add some embellishments over here. Not sure what those will be, but I've got plenty, so I'll figure it out. Down here, because I want to journal, that's going to be harder. I think I almost am better to go black and white, just because, like, there is black in all of these. Black and white matches everything. There is a little gray there, so I could do gray if I had to. Well, I think I have found the card I want to use, but it's going to take some work because I don't want to use it as is. I have this one. I love that it's black and white. I love the amount of journaling space. I don't like this. That's meant usually for maybe something more outdoorsy, which definitely is not happening here. But I figure I can cover it up. So if I want to work in that gray that I have here, like on the flooring there, and even in the background here, I could maybe find just like a gray scrap and cover this up. And then that also gives me the opportunity to embellish on top of it to make it a little bit more fun. So I think I'm going with that one. I have grabbed out my bag of gray scraps. I also have silver. It's gray and silver. Silver would actually be okay, because if you look at like the chandelier, there's definitely silver happening there. So it'll be gray or silver. I'll find a piece, put it over this. I'll probably just like cut the size I need and then maybe like rip the top just to make it a little more interesting. But I think that's my plan. As I was going through scraps, I had these 3 that were all like glitter or foiled or something. I love them, but I felt like they were just way too much. But this one, I really liked this one, especially because it has more of a craft background. I don't think that's hideous with this, but I'm worried, is that still too much? Because then what do I put over that? That's my concern. And then I thought, okay, well, what do I have? that I would put over it. And I remembered I have these. They were actually in my New York bin, but I pulled them out because I'm like, you know what? I think there's something purple on there. I do have a purple building left. So I think what I'm going to do is actually maybe just use a piece of plain gray to kind of match the floor there. I could even go a little lighter if I wanted. And then I think I'm going to layer some of these. And that'll be the sparkle and the shine instead of all of this. Okay, so I cut down a piece of that gray that I want, and I wanted to just make sure of the sizing. So I could even make this more narrow, which I plan to do, but height-wise, that gives me plenty of room with like this tall purple building. So I think I'm actually going to just do this for visual interest, rip it. Then I have the white showing. It's a little bit shorter. This will appear like that, and I like that much better. Because this photo also has that nice blue in it, I feel like this blue building will also match. I'm going to use both of those and then probably this shorter one just for contrast. I have made my gray piece here, and in order to make sure that they would all fit, I did the blue one first, then I did this one to make sure it's about the same distance from the edge as the blue one, and I put this in the middle. And I think the spacing on that is fine, and now I can attach it. I realized that on this sheet of stickers there are also all of these silver stars. I can use those, so I'm going to overlap some on the gray to build that in, and then also I will put some on the other card at the top just to help bring that in, plus add in some other ephemera. I've added the stars on there, and then I also had that purple geotag piece of ephemera from that same set that had all the purple in it, so I decided to add that as well. And hopefully this encourages people to know, like, if you don't like how a card looks, you can alter it. It's fine to do other things with it. I mean, at least make use of it. Otherwise, this would just sit around and never get used. Since I have some of that gray paper left, I'm actually going to cut a 3x4 card, and then I'm going to trim down this photo so that there's some of that gray showing through so it feels more cohesive across the whole layout. And really, I've got a lot of dead space up here that I don't need. So I can chop that down, and then I can figure out how to add in my embellishments. When that's all done, like mixing with that purple card background, I think it'll be great. So I have my photo on the gray paper now, and I really like that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some pieces and make a cluster. So I have this one where I use part of this and then cut off the other end. I'm going to tuck that under there, I think. I will layer on the suitcase behind it, and I need a third thing. I think I want to go black and white so that it matches more of what's down here. I have part of this card done. I am going to do what you see here, that cluster, and originally I thought, oh, I wanted something black and white over here, but because this card down here also, the big embellishment stuff is shifted to the right, I felt like I needed something to the left, but I thought, well, what could I put there? I'm not sure. Then I found this honker, look how big that is, in my black and white stuff, which I have a huge amount of over here. And I thought, well, can I put that on the upper left? Will it look okay? I think it does. I think it actually looks very nice there to overlap here. So that'll bring in some things to the left, which looks better. And then I can still add in some of these little stars that I have on here around there. Not a crazy amount, but maybe a few to just brighten it up a little bit and to match with the bottom. And then I think I'm good to go. I added in the little stars there. I did 3 just for visual triangle. Then I am going to put in staple there. Then I'll put this in the pocket here, and we'll see what I think of the whole thing together. All right, there it is, all laid out in the pockets together, and I'm super happy with that. So here's another one done for Canada. Thanks for watching.